Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we're going to do another book review. Now today's book review is going to be on Dragon Slayer. This is written by Michael Scott Earl, published by MSE Publishing, his own publishing company. And the genres here are pulp, sword and sorcery, which is an old style of science fiction, or fantasy, sorry, when it was serialized in magazines. You know, think Conan the Barbarian, John Carter of Mars, Tarnsman of Gore, that sort of thing. You know, old school stuff. And obviously fantasy. This has no adaptation because it's a self-published book that's not really that popular. And the premise here is that this firefighter by the name of Ethan DePaulo gets transported into another world. He gets summoned by this guy called the Silent Guardian, and into this new world where dragons rule, where dragons are slowly but surely getting rid of all humanity, and he is tasked with exterminating them, because as a firefighter he has the best tools available to him to fight dragons, which is like a little bit like, sure, he's fire resistant because of the gear that firefighters have, but you can't battle giant lizards. It's not really that easy. But he gets given a necklace that contains the soul of this witch, and some cool tattoos that give him magic, and so he embarks on a journey, which is really fun. Actually, I really enjoyed this. I like fantasy more than science fiction, so this was a little bit more fun than Tamer for me. Plus the fact that this is actually quite a lot better written than Tamer. So yeah, let's just jump into the evaluation here. So the plot line is good. It's enjoyable. The premise and the general plot line are both really fair. Like, they're not really good. They're not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but they're fun enough. They're good enough. They're enjoyable and rather exciting, actually. So the book, it breaks down into kind of these main plot points: a firefight, then the meeting with the Guardian, whose name is Barodan, something like that. Then you travel to the town of Whitespire. Here he gets in trouble, eventually makes it to talk to the king, and then he sets out on a quest to destroy the ice dragon Frostar. He battles the frost dragon. Something happens. Turns out there's a woman, because this is a harem story. And then they go back to the town Whitespire, or it's actually a city. And then they get attacked by Raymod, the fire dragon. And yeah, that's basically it. It's actually cool, and I don't want to spoil it, but I will, because it's kind of important to talk about now that I'm talking about the characters. It turns out the dragons are women. Once they're defeated in a specific way, they turn into witches with specific elemental powers, depending on who they are, or depending on what type of dragon they are. And it's cool, and it's interesting, and it kind of allows Ethan to have a harem without it having to be like another adventurer. It's really cool. I enjoyed how it worked. It's a little weird because they used to be dragons, but whatever, it's cool, I guess. And yeah, so the characters. So there's Ethan DePaulo, who is the main character. He is a firefighter, like I said, and he has these cool dragon tattoos all over his body that the Silent Guardian gave him, that get charged up with magic that he can siphon off things. Humans have not been able to use magic in a long time. He's the only human that can, and it's rather exciting for him, both because he can use magic and because he's stronger than a regular human, and because he's one of a kind. We have Barodan, the Silent Guardian. This guy he's like the Gandalf, Moraine, Dumbledore type of person. He's like the older, powerful wizard type. He doesn't want to tell Ethan what's really going on, but just gives him enough to send him on a journey. So He's not really the bad guy, but to me, he feels a little bit antagonistic. Like there's something more to it that he's not telling you, and that is going to end up being like Ethan versus Baradon at the end of the story, whenever that may be. And yeah, then we have Naivia, who is that witch that gets trapped in Ethan's necklace. She is both like, it's like medieval Cortana, essentially. If Cortana was like this sultry, evil witch that you can't release from her necklace. She does a lot of innuendos. She provides a lot of comedic elements to the story. She helps out Ethan by giving him information about the situation that he finds himself in. And so she's actually rather important to the story and to Ethan's personal, well-being. Then we have Galfred the Bold. He is the main knight character. He's the one that actually was going to kill Frozdar, but he suffered something, and Ethan had to step up. Ethan did it a certain way thanks to Naivia, and then bam, turns out the dragon's a woman by the name of Ariesta, and she's basically Emma Frost, like X-Men. Same character, same style, hot. And that's basically it. There's a few other characters, but they're not really that important, and they don't really add anything to the story. They're just kind of there for the sake of, Ethan having people to talk to. And yeah, so the world building is very fun. It's elemental dragons, magic, medieval world, absorbing powers. And it actually feels like the author took a lot of time to at least copy D&D and make it interesting. So it's really cool. I really enjoyed myself, and it's not Brandon Sanderson level, but world building by any means of the imagination, or by any stretch of the imagination. But it is good enough to keep you interested. So I really enjoyed myself with that. And yeah, so there's no art, but the covers are pretty good. In fact, I think Tamer has better covers, but I like the fact that there's dragons in these much better. And I like the cover for Volume 2 especially, which is the next book I'll cover tomorrow, essentially. And fan service, there's no drawings, but there's definitely sex scenes. So if you're not interested in that, don't read this. Literally, like, I don't know, 30 pages in, there's a sex scene. And then there's 2 or 3 more in this book. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I rate this a 4 out of 5 or an 8 out of 10. I might be being a bit generous with these Michael Scott Earl books. But I really enjoy myself while reading them, so I can't justify giving it a lower score just because it's not high literature, or because it's not, written in such a way that you have to like have a dictionary next to you while you read. I don't think that's fair, and if I enjoyed it, why can't I give it a good score, So yeah, 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10. This is much better written than Tamer for sure. If you want to read a book by him but want to skip Tamer because you don't really care about the way the female characters are written or whatever, this might be a better one. I definitely recommend it. Obviously, I'm pretty vocal about my enjoyment of this book. Similar books here, similar titles. Tamer obviously is similar. And there's this other one called Dragon Realm. It's written by Richard K. Kanan, I think, or Non or something like that. Here, I have it right here. I don't have to say that. This one, Legends of the Dragon Realm. I haven't actually read this, but what I did read, like, what is this, 30 pages, felt very similar. So there's that. This is kind of like D&D inspired, Conan the Barbarian inspired, very like serialized short story type of elements here. So it's really enjoyable. It's actually a long book, so be aware that there's some reading to do, but very fun. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, See you guys later.